I strongly believe that the federal government should not support the mortgage market. There are many reasons for which the mortgage market should not be supported. In 2008, the biggest Wall Street bailout occurred when the U.S. taxpayers rescued the two federal mortgage giants, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Like Senator Vinjamuri said, $200 billion was used for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. The housing bubble was created because the federal government involved in the mortgage market. Government guarantees can lead to lower rates. That is true. However, that is only one part of the picture. Mortgages are cheaper because some of the risk that private investors take for a price is being put on the American taxpayers. Looking even into the bigger picture, the mortgage rates being low will create artificially inflated housing prices, which will cause more future bubbles like the one we saw in 2008. Like Senator Sutty said, government guarantees can lead to inflated housing prices. If the federal government doesn't fund the mortgage market, if the federal government doesn't fund the mortgage market and leaves it to the private sector, they will make sure they give their money to the right people so they want their money back. If the federal government funds the mortgage market, lending institutions will be very eager to collect their commissions rather than following their standard lending practices. This is exactly what happened in 2008 when banks loaned mortgages to people who couldn't even afford houses, which led to one of the biggest housing collapses in the history of the United States. So, Senators, I strongly believe that the federal government should stay out of the mortgage market and let the private sector handle it with checks and balances to keep the market healthy. Thank you.
Questions? Anyone was not? Senator Levin?
Don't you think that when the risk increases, the private sectors will back down because they don't want their companies to go through downfall?
Well, if there's market demand, the private sector will definitely, even if there's risk, the private sector will do it because there's a lot of market demand for the mortgage market.
Okay, Senator Benjamin. Short questions.
You say Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac should be closed down, but they hold 90% of the mortgages to this date. What would you do with all of those mortgage loans?
The private sector. Can you please repeat your question?
If Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are shut down, then what would happen to the 90% of mortgage loans that they hold?
The private sector will take care of that because they have enough money.
Okay. Senator Ravindran.
So what happens if the private sector, like Senator Lyman said, what happens if the private sector backs down because they don't want to risk anything and everything falls apart? Then what, the government should not step in then either?
Well, the government should have limited regulations and will help the government should have limited regulations and should kind of help the private sector, which by providing insurance to mortgage-backed securities, like the FDIC provides insurance to bank deposits, but the private sector will account for all the risks because if there's a large market demand and if there's money out there, it'll definitely go for it.
Okay, all right.